Lesson 5.3, Proportions. By the end of the lesson, you're going to be able to test whether ratios form a proportion or not. And you already know what ratios are. We're just going to work on the word proportion today. Now, you might have heard the saying, hey, this person is proportional, or he's not so proportional. Now, what does that mean? Well, I'm going to let you know in a little bit. I'm going to do an example just really quickly. And this part, just watch it. Don't copy this picture down. It's unnecessary. So just watch me. This here is a picture, a photograph of my friend. And let's say I wanted to draw her. Now, I don't want to draw her the same size, but I want to draw her twice as big. So first, let's look at the ratio of the width of her face to the length, how long her face is. And I'm going to bring in a ruler. And I'm going to be measuring how wide her face is. And it looks like it's about 30 centimeters. So 30 is the width. And how long is her face? I'm going to be putting the ruler this way. And let's see, this looks like about 50. So the ratio of the width to the length is 30 to 50. Well, I'm going to be drawing her twice as big. So what is the width going to be in my drawing? Well, it's going to be, you just multiply it by 2. And we're also going to multiply the length by 2, forming an equivalent ratio. So the ratio now is going to be 60 to 50 times 2 is 100. Okay, so let's look at my drawing. Here it is. Now let's test to see whether this is true to this proportion, to this ratio. Let's first look at the width. Oops, I'm looking at inches. Let's flip it around. 60 to is that 100? To about almost 100. Now we can say that now this picture and this drawing are proportional because the ratios are equivalent. And that's exactly what a proportion is. Now please copy this down. A proportion is a mathematical sentence saying that two ratios are equal. And this is the proportion that we have. 30 to 50 is equal to 60 to 100. This is ratio is equal to another ratio. Now, what happens if these are not proportional? Well, let's say I messed up and I did not calculate my ratios correctly, and I made the length a little bit too short. My drawing would have looked like this, and we can say these two are not proportional. This drawing looks a lot more wide and fat compared to what my friend really looks like. So these two are not proportional. If I stretch it this way, these two are not proportional, but the way I had it earlier, those would be proportional because those ratios would be equal. Okay, so how do we test whether a ratio forms a proportion or not? How do we test whether two ratios are equivalent? There's two ways of doing so. The first is simplifying. The second one is using cross products. Now let's look at the simplifying first. It's a couple of steps. Get this ruler away. Okay. Step 1. We write both ratios in simplest form. Okay, so let's look at this first ratio. 6 to 8. Let's simplify that. We can divide both of these by 2, and we get 3 to 4. And that's the first one. The second one, 9 to 12, we can rewrite that as divide by 3, divide by 3. And we also get 3 to 4. Step 2, are they equal? Are these equal? If yes, then they form a proportion. So these two are a proportion. So we can write 6 to 8 is equal to 9, 12. They form a proportion. So go ahead and pause here and try these two. Do these two ratios form a proportion? I'm going to be showing the answers in 2, 1. Okay, so again, I'm going to use the same method. Put both these ratios in simplest form. 15 to 45 can both divide by 15. 15 divided by 15 is 1. 45 divided by 15 is 3. Now this one here, 3 and 15, they both divide by 3. So 3 divided by 3 is 1. 15 divided by 3 is 5. Now are these equal? No, they are not. So these do not form a proportion. Okay, on to the second method of testing whether or not two ratios form a proportion. And I'm going to use the same examples. This method is called cross products. And it looks at the cross products. What are cross products? Well, what happens? We circle numbers like this. We make a cross. Okay? And we look at the products. What does products mean? Products are the answers to multiplication problems. So let's look at our first oval. We circled the 6 and the 12. Now, what's 6 times 12? 6 times 12 is... This is 12, so we add a 1. 6 times 1 is 6. Add a 1, we have 72. So that's our first cross product. Now our second one, we are looking at the 9 and the 8. What's 9 times 8? Oh, that's 72. Okay, are these cross products equal? Yes, they are. So yes, they form a proportion. And of course, that's what we expected because we discovered that by using the other method earlier. So again, the 2 steps to find whether or not these ratios form a proportion. Step 1, find the cross products. Multiply by the numerator times the denominator of the other one. And are these cross products equal? If yes, then they form a proportion. Let's look at the second example. Do these two ratios form a proportion? Let's use cross products again. We have this first cross and second cross. I'm using different colors this time. Okay, so 15 times 15, what is that? That's, well, 5 times 5 is 25, 2, so 5 times 1 is 5, plus 2 is 7, 1 times 5 is 5, and 1 times 1 is 1. We add all these up, we get 5, 2, 2, so 225 is our first cross product. Our second one is 45 times 3. Now I don't have room, I will move this up a little bit. 45 times 3. 3 times 5 is 15. 3 times 4 is 12, plus 1 is 13. Are these two equal? No, they are not. So they do not form a proportion, just like we expected because we found it up here. Now there's 2 ways that we are teaching you. Simplify and cross products, please know both ways. Okay, so go ahead and try to do this on your own. Do the following ratios form a proportion? Please show your work. This is what I'm looking for when I do my journal checks. Now pause here. I'm going to show you answers in 3, 2, 1. Okay, if you don't have these correct, please look at your work and see what happened. Again, the usual. After you're done with the lesson, please reply or respond to a question, and please complete the quiz on Edmodo. That's all for today. Bye-bye.